Good morning, good morning.
Morning. Morning.
Welcome to Fat Gentle Flow. I think that's what it's called. I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody. I'm starting like just a minute late, so sorry about that. But yeah, welcome this morning. I hope everyone is feeling good and like enjoying the full moon vibes that are happening this morning. We'll take it super slow, easy, stretch everything out. So let's begin on our backs. So if you have like a blanket you want to put under your head or something like that, or even a pillow for some support, go ahead and set yourself up, get a bolster or whatever other props you'd like to use, and bend your knees and plant your feet on the mat. And let's just try to like really melt into the mat here and find this space to be really comfortable and cozy. And so take a deep breath here. Once you find it, inhale, open mouth, exhale. So come into your normal breath. And let's just feel into our body. So whatever you have going on right now, just maybe try to like let it go, get it out of your mind. Focusing on your body and how you feel in your body at this moment. Go ahead and continue to breathe and maybe like wiggle the fingers and the toes and just check in with yourself. Like you're here on your mat for a reason. So maybe even say like, what do I need from this practice this morning? So taking the time to breathe, feel into our bodies, ask our bodies what we need. And maybe even just thinking the thing, like I need to just breathe, or I need yoga. It might not even be like anything specific, but you just know that you need yoga. So that's why you're here. So let's tap into that breath, tap into how we feel. And then begin to seal your lips and breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, finding the Ujjayi breath. So this life force breath that yoga revolves around. So yoga revolves around the breath. That's how it all started. It's just breathing. So as we seal our lips, we begin to lengthen our breath. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. And coming to a count of 4, 5, or 6, finding something that feels the best. So maybe you try out the 4 count breath. It's not enough. You're Goldilocks. You need to find the 5 count breath. Maybe the 6 count breath. So let's explore that breath, that movement in your chest, and what feels the best. Taking a few rounds of breath on your own here. On that next exhale, maybe just noticing, like, does your breath sound like an ocean wave? Am I feeling like as I breathe, I could fog up a mirror with my mouth, but it's closed? I know that's such a weird thinking, but it's like that constriction in the back of your throat that might happen a little bit. So thinking about that. So as we inhale, maybe there's a little constriction, and then the exhale, same way you would if you would fog up a mirror. So as we sit here and breathe, let's just remind ourselves, like, breathing is the basis of yoga. This is why we practice. So this repetition of breath is always there for you. So you may lose it at one point. Just remind yourself, like, you can come back to it. Everybody goes in and out of this breath. It's not just you. So finding that ujjayi breath is awesome at the beginning, and you'll lose it at some point, and you can always come back. So as I say things like tap into the breath, feel into the breath, you can be reminded, like, oh, let me make sure I'm breathing here. Come back to center and take the time to just plant your right foot down, and you can keep your eyes closed if you'd like. And let's cross the left leg over, finding a figure 4. And you can stay still just like this, just kind of thinking about that hip opening up. Or you can begin to rock your hip to the right and to the left, allowing for a little bit of movement here. So whatever it is that you need, do that. Your body will tell you. It might just be to just sit here and open up the hips slowly. Like, gravity will do its job. So taking the time to do that is important. Take a deep inhale here, and then exhale. And then come back to center if you were swishing, and plant your left foot down, and then right foot crosses over, finding that open hip on the other side. And again, you can rock your left knee side to side, almost like a windshield wiper, and allow your hip and your back to get a little twist and some extra movement and stretchiness here. But it's not necessary. You can stay completely still and also feel into that right hip opening slowly. So whichever road you choose is the right one. So just take a couple of breaths in that. On that next exhale, bring both feet to the mat, come back to center, and then rock the knees side to side like that windshield wiper motion. And if you're feeling any pinchiness on your back whatsoever, just make the swishies smaller. On that next exhale, let's stay to one side and just feel the stretch on this one side. Take a deep inhale and exhale. And then switch to the other side. A deep inhale here and an exhale. And then come back to center and take both feet to the outside edges of your mat. So it's like you can touch the edges with the inside of your foot, and allow your knees to just kind of come in towards each other, trying to make like a triangle shape with your feet or your legs. Your knees don't have to touch, but you should be feeling it on the outside of your hips, this stretchy vibe. If this feels uncomfortable whatsoever, you can always bring your knees up just a little bit and just press in just a smidge. So listen to your body, feel into it. This is all just some gentle hip opening just to begin the practice. Tapping into the breath and feeling into the body. And then bring your knees up and bring the soles of the feet together to touch. And align your back so there's like a little natural curve. If you're feeling pinchiness in your back, then go back to that triangle shape you made. So knees open wide and feet are touching. So reclined butterfly. And just feel into this posture. So allowing the hips to open, gravity is working here. Maybe your arms come up and overhead, elbows are bent, fingers are reaching towards one another. And just taking some deep breaths, feeling into your hips. On that next exhale, let's bring our knees back up to center and lift up our right leg so knee comes into chest and grab right behind the knee. If you need a little bit of help, like a strap or something like that, then use that. Otherwise, you could interlace your fingers behind your knee and begin to straighten your right leg so it's just up to the sky. If you're using a strap, you can put it on your foot and grip it with one hand or even one strap in each of your hands. But this is also great if you don't have a strap and you can weave your fingers behind your leg, then do that. On that next exhale, begin to lower this right leg down and take both hands off of your leg and just take the right hand inside of that space behind your knee. So you're like just kind of guiding it down, just finding that edge and just helping it to be in the space that it wants to be. So like for my hip, it's a little chunky. So I've got like no more space to go down, but yours might be like up here, you might be super tight. So just depending on your hip flexibility, flex your foot and just feel into this stretch. So you should feel the stretch maybe along the inside thigh, the back of the leg. And if you're not feeling the stretch, then you can maybe reach for your toes. And if you can't quite reach, just keep your hands here and you're opening up your hips. It should feel pretty good, not painful in any way. On that next exhale, come back to center, bring your foot all the way up, and then hold it one more time. Both hands behind or just gripping the back of your knee or with the strap. And just taking some deep breaths here, maybe trying to straighten your leg, feeling into the back of the leg. It really feels deep into like right below where my booty is. So it's where the hip meets the thigh and the back of my leg. On that next exhale, go ahead and bend your knee, release your hands, and maybe just rock your knees side to side, feeling into the hips. Plant that right foot down, left foot comes into chest, lift up to the sky, and find that same grip behind your knee on the left side. And really think about where your hip is at. Try to sink that left hip down. So bending the knee a little bit and then straightening the leg, playing with that a little bit. And just noticing like how tight this hip is compared to the other side. Taking some deep breaths, tap back into it. Maybe just go back into the reason why you're here this morning. And maybe it's just a feel inside your body. So whatever the reason is, like let's try to be there and be present with it. And then on that next exhale, go ahead and lower down that left foot, bringing the left hand to the inside of the left leg, like right where the knee is, and allowing it to go down. Maybe it goes down a couple of inches, maybe it goes all the way to the floor. It's your hip, so you know your abilities here. Listen to your body. You could even bend your knee if you want to get it closer to the floor. Sometimes that's nice if you might like that feeling, or maybe you want it to be straight so you don't go down as far. So just notice that too, like how you bent your knee a little bit might affect how far down you go. So take some deep breaths in this. On that next exhale, help your leg back up to center and then find that same grip you found before, maybe weaving the fingers together or just bringing your hands behind your knee. Just kind of gripping your leg, and this time just try to straighten your leg that much more and see if it kind of does, if your leg will, or maybe you need to keep it a little bent. Wherever you're at is perfect. So no judgment here. Just notice and just breathe. On that next exhale, bring that left foot down and then wiggle the legs, the knees again. So you find that windshield wiper action. And then find butterfly, that reclined butterfly move again. So bring the soles of the feet together, knees open wide, and just notice like if your hips feel just a little bit more open after doing those stretches. And take a couple of deep breaths here. If this is pinchy on your back, you can do that reclined triangle version where your knees are just coming in and feet are wide. And then bring your knees back to center, and then take your knees into your chest and let's rock just a little bit, having a little massage on the low back. And then lift your legs up and try to roll yourself all the way up to seated. If it doesn't quite happen, you can always roll off to the side and push yourself up. And then find something to sit on, a comfortable seat. It could be pillow or bolster, something like that. And let's take a couple breaths in seated pose. So here, ooh, I made it to seated. Good job, good job. So here, let's cross our legs, or maybe one leg could be open or both, or wherever you're at is absolutely perfect. So it doesn't have to be crossed. Bring your hands to your knees, shoulders are down away from ears. Close your eyes or have a super soft gaze. Take a deep inhale here. Open mouth, exhale. Let it all go. And then find that ujjayi breath, sealing your lips and breathing through your nose. Knowing the rhythm that works best for you. Tapping into the breath. And maybe just tapping back into that intention, like, why are we here? Why are we here? Sometimes it's nice to just ask ourselves why, because like we're going through life and we just never stop to think like, why do we do this? Why do I want to do this? You know, and like knowing the reason why just really helps cement what you're doing. So it brings more value, it brings more intention, and you're like living a little bit more closer to whatever your truth is. Like You know why? Because yoga keeps me calm. Yoga is yoga, and it's like the thing that I need to do. It makes me feel stretched out. It releases my anxiety. It helps me, helps calm my nervous system. It helps stretch me out. Like whatever the reason is, like tap into that. Why are you here this morning? On the next exhale, come to center and just lift your chest just a little bit more, shoulders away from ears. Take the right ear to right shoulder and feel that stretch along the left side. So from left ear all the way down to left shoulder, finding that stretch. You could even bring your left hand down, like reaching towards the mat, or even the top of the hand to the base of the spine, if you have that type of shoulder flexibility. If not, you can always just reach out to the side. Some days I feel really open and I can hit that mark on the back of my spine, and some days I'm like, ooh, that doesn't feel good. So if you feel that way, back off. I'm so used to pushing through too, so yoga really isn't for that. Yoga is for you, for your body. It's your practice. So finding that space that works for you, that's the goal. Maybe just rock your chin up and down here, feeling a little bit into your throat, into the back of the neck, just a little bit, just enough to like, you could even hang out with your chin down a little bit. Your right ear is like still leaning to the right shoulder, but maybe your chin is down and you feel it like in the back left side of your neck. This is the most common area where we hold our tension, on the left for some reason. If you hold it on the right, then you're some sort of anomaly. I don't know. I know I hold mine in the left. So just take the time to stretch it out. Feel into it. A lot of times we don't have time to do body work, like where somebody actually massages us out. So we can do it ourselves just by stretching and feeling into it. And then lift the chin a little bit. Make sure we get into that side of the throat too. And then come back to center and just notice the difference between the two sides. Like the left side is stretched out, the right side is not. So just notice. And then on that next exhale, bring our left ear to left shoulder. If your left hand is still down, just place it on your leg and then adjust your right arm to where you'd like it. So either reaching towards the ground or the top of the hand to the base of the spine. And the goal here is to stretch from the ear all the way to the shoulder. So find that stretch that feels really good for you. Taking some deep breaths here, reminding yourself to lift your chest and sit up straight. It's really easy to just begin to roll the shoulders in. Then you kind of lose the stretch. So just stay up a little bit, feeling into this stretch. You can always adjust your legs. So like mine were not feeling the greatest. So I'm extending them out in front of me because that feels better in this moment. So if you want to do that too, you can go for it. Go for it. You can go ahead and move your chin up and down, feeling into the side of the neck and the front of the neck. And maybe you want to hang out where your chin is down a little bit. That's cool. Do that. Take a couple deep breaths there. And make sure you get the front of the neck as well. And then on that next exhale, come back to center, bring your neck back to center. Keep your eyes closed with that super soft gaze and begin to just make some neck circles. So slow neck circles all the way around. Just feeling into all the little creaks and cracks and crevices of your neck. Go around 2 times in one direction and then reverse directions. Go super slow here, so really feeling into it. And after you've gone around 2 times in each direction, come back to center and just notice like how your neck feels right now. And then on that next inhale, let's lift the arms all the way up. Maybe even we look up or our eyes are closed and our head is just leaning towards the sky. And then exhale, we reach forward and find a forward fold. And just tuck our chin and just feel into our hips and our back. Take a deep inhale, maybe lift the chest a little bit, and then exhale, drop a little bit more. However your legs are is absolutely great. So like if both legs are extended or if both legs are crossed, it's perfect. You don't have to do anything special here. This is just a gentle forward fold. And then on that next exhale, come all the way back up to center. And if your legs aren't crossed, I would say cross them. This just makes the twist a little bit easier. Inhale, arms come up. Find a gentle twist, look over to the right, and then the arms come down. Left arm to right knee, right hand behind. We lift the chest on the inhale, and the exhale, we find a bit of a twist. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, we twist. On that next exhale, we come back to center. Inhale, both the arms come up. Exhale, we twist to the other side. Bring both arms down, right hand to left knee, left hand behind, and look over the left shoulder. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, we twist. And on that next exhale, we come back to center and bring your hands behind. We switch the direction of the legs. So like my legs were extended the first time, I'll bring them in for butterfly this time. But if your legs were crossed, you can bring right leg in front of left or left leg in front of right. So whatever pose you'd like to do, find that. Inhale, both arms come up. Exhale, they reach forward and come in front of you. Taking some deep breaths here. Feeling into the stretch. You could even wiggle your shoulders a little bit, rock back and forth, side to side. Inhale, come up a little. Exhale, we fold forward more. Then on that next exhale, we push ourselves all the way up. And this time our feet do come out in front of us. We look at our feet and let's find seated tree pose. So flex our right foot, left foot comes in. If your knee is up like this, then let's bring the foot to the calf and try to open the hip slowly. So listen to your body. If your hip is super tight, bring it here. And some days it's like you're open and then all of a sudden you're tight and you need this extra space. So just listen. Go ahead and look over your right shoulder, find a little twist. Come back to center, torso over the right leg. Inhale, both arms come up. Exhale, we reach towards the foot and take some deep breaths here. Feeling into the stretch, flexing your toes. Maybe your hand just winds up on your shin or your knee, and that is great. Like, just find the stretch. That's the goal. On that next exhale, we come all the way back up to center and then switch legs. So left leg comes out in front, right leg comes in. And like I said, if your knee is up, maybe on one side it's up and one side it's down. So listen to your body. Maybe you take your foot to your calf, find that gentle twist over to the left, and inhale, both arms come up. Exhale, they reach towards the foot, flexing that left foot. Take a deep inhale, lifting the chest. Exhale, leaning forward, finding the stretch. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, we fold. On the next exhale, we push ourselves all the way back up. This time we bring both feet in, so finding butterfly. Maybe just notice how your hips are open. How open are your hips compared to when we first started? And maybe just compared to lying on the ground and then sitting straight up. So if your hips or knees are super tight and they're like this, you can always bring your feet out a little bit and allow your knees to come down a little bit more. So wherever you're at is great. That's your path. So listen to your body. You can bring your hands and grip your ankles and press into the elbows, press the elbows into the knees, or you can bring your hands out in front and round the shoulders and come forward like that. So whichever version feels really good to you, try that. Maybe you start with knees into, or your elbows into knees, and then you change where your hands are out in front. So you pick your version. Just take some deep breaths here, feeling into the stretch. Just maybe tapping back into that why. Why are we here? Why are we practicing yoga? And maybe you don't know why. You're like, I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. A lot of times we go through life and we're just like trying different things and we just know it feels good. Like I'm practicing because it feels good, or I'm practicing because I'm told I will feel good. You know, you're looking for something out of the practice. So tap back into the why, even if it's an I don't know, totally fine. Take some deep breaths. And then on that next exhale, lift up your chest, come all the way up. And this time we extend our legs out to the sides, finding a wide-legged stretch. Flex our feet, and we bring our hands just directly in front of us. We lift with the chest, and our chest is what will lead us here. So think about knees in line with feet. And as we gently begin to shift forward, leading with the chest, our hands begin to walk forward. So we come down. So listen to yourself, to your body, and wherever you're at. So as we begin to shift forward, maybe our hands walk a millimeter, maybe they walk an inch. All amounts of space are perfect. So wherever you're at is amazing. Sometimes it's just amazing just to begin the practice. So the fact that you're here and present, maybe just to have you thinking, that is amazing. So flex your feet, just pay attention. I just noticed my left foot, this was like flop. It like likes to flop in on this pose. That's a natural thing. So when as soon as I notice, I flex my foot and then I'm like, woohoo, there it is. There's the stretch. You can feel the stretch a little bit more when we're aligned in our bodies. So taking the time to just feel into it, keep the alignment, lead with your chest. Sometimes it's just about kind of shifting your chest forward and bending your elbows. You don't even have to walk forward. And then you're like, whoo, I feel this in my back. I feel this in my hips. I feel this all over, which is great. Take some deep breaths here. Feel into it. And we'll be here for maybe 3 more breaths. So allowing our hips to open and taking some deep breaths. On that next exhale, begin to shift your body up. Torso comes all the way up. And let's find tabletop. So bringing your hands and knees to the mat, moving the bolster out of the way. So hands plant onto the mat, and then knees plant onto the mat. Think about shoulders over wrists, knees under hips. And then begin to inhale as we drop down, find our cow. Exhale, we find our cat. Tuck our bellies here. Inhale, we find our cow, let our belly hang. And just find that rhythm of the breath for yourself, for your cat-cows. Really think about on the cat, we stretching our shoulders, stretching the shoulders. Whew, that should feel really good. And then come to center and lift up. So press your hands so that you're seated up. You can sit in hare's pose. Maybe grab something for your knees, like a blanket or pillow, just because the knees tend to be a little bit sensitive sometimes. And let's do a little bit of a chest opener. So you can bring your knees onto the bolster. And it's just kind of like a camel prep, but we won't be doing full camel today. So bringing the hands to the base of the spine, engage your core here, and just, this might be it. This might be the pose where your chest is open and maybe you're looking up. You engage your core, and the fingers are kind of like on your bum and the palm is on the low back. You're framing your spine with your palms. And this might be it. So let's just start here. Take a deep breath. Opening up the chest, and then exhale. Let's round the shoulders, bring your hands forward, and then make like this type of a shape with your hands. You can also just have your hands like out in front, just kind of wiggling with your shoulders. The main goal is to have a counter stretch here. So as we open our chest, it's really important to counter stretch. Let's come back to center, and then find that same pose. Opening up the chest, lifting up the chin this time, and engaging your core. And this time you can allow your hips to move forward as you might reach back and find a little bit of lift to the chest and just coming back a little bit, finding a bit of a back bend. It can be little, or you can even stay exactly where we were at before. Just focus on opening the chest, no back bend. Then on that exhale, let's do that counter stretch. Whichever one feels really good for you. And then come back to center, bring our hands here one more time. So hands to the back, elbows are squeezing together before we even push forward. Engage your core and then squeeze your bum, and then begin to push forward as we lead with the chest, look up to the sky. And find a bit of a back bend if you want. You can also just stay straight up, and just feel it into your chest. And then on that next exhale, we come forward and find a counter stretch. Maybe even hands come to the mat, and we just kind of allow our back to like stretch in a cat shape. And then come back to center. Let's find our backs. So move the bolster out of the way and come onto our back. If you were using a pillow or something like that, set it aside. You can just put it within arm's reach so you can have it for your Shavasana, but we'll be doing a little bit of a twist here, so it's better to just have the head on the mat. So let's extend our right leg once our backs have reached the mat, and then left knee comes into chest, and grab the left knee with the right hand and help it over to the right. So finding a supine twist, extend your left arm out to the side and take some deep breaths here. So as we inhale, we might come up a little bit, and then exhale, twist. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, we twist. And we'll be here for at least 3 breaths. Feeling into this twist. On that next exhale, begin to lower that left hip all the way down to the mat. Take both feet onto the mat, lift the hips, and align them so you can set yourself up on the other side. Extend your left leg. Right knee comes into chest this time. Grab behind the right knee and help the right knee over to the left with your left hand. Extend your right arm out to the side to make a T, finding supine twist on the other side. Take a deep inhale, maybe we rock up a little. Exhale, we find the twist. Really feeling into it. You'll be here for maybe another 3 breaths. On that next exhale, begin to roll back to center, allowing that right hip to come down to the mat. Lift up both of your hips when you plant your feet down and find that comfortable spot on your back. So let's find butterfly again. This is like the butterfly theme class. I feel like this kind of tells you where your hips are at. Like in the beginning, they might have been tighter, and now it's like one last time. Let's just check in, see where your hips are at. Hands come and reach above you. Elbows are bent, fingers are reaching towards each other. And just kind of like notice, like, wow, my hips feel a bit more open than when I first started. So just taking the time to observe, notice how your body feels. And then bring your feet to the ground and knees come into chest, and you can cross at the ankles and just gently rock side to side, finding a bit of a back massage here. So like it's like a low back massage. Feel really good. You could even bring your feet up to the sky and grab the outside edges of your feet for happy baby. If not, you can just grab your thighs, the inside of your thighs, and just allow your hips to be open as they kind of hover. So very similar to butterfly, but this time your hips are hovering. So just taking a couple of deep breaths like this, or in happy baby. And then go ahead and release wherever you're at. And 1 minute here to just do whatever you'd like. So if you'd like to do a plow or a bridge or just sit and recline butterfly or something, you have 1 minute to explore and have some yogi playtime. Maybe you need to get upside down. Maybe you need a shoulder stand. Whatever it is, let's take a minute and just go there. I won't be walking you through. You can just do however you want, do whatever you'd like. So 1 full minute. You have another 40 seconds. And on that next exhale, come back to center and let's prep ourselves for final Shavasana. So set yourself up for that rock star Shavasana where we feel really super amazing in our bodies. Maybe it's to put a bolster, blanket under our head or our calves, or maybe you want to cover your body with a blanket. Maybe you want to support your neck. Arms can be out to the sides. Feet can be extended towards opposite corners of the mat. So you find your Shavasana that feels super amazing. And once you find it, take a deep inhale here. Open mouth exhale. Like, yes, this feels amazing. This is what I signed up for. This is the spot. So we'll be here for at least 5 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. Taking time to check in, feel into our bodies, and just let our mind get clear. So finding the clarity in our minds. So if you have a lot of things that are going on in your mind, just kind of waft them away. We can mark them later. Like, well, we're going to take care of them, but just not now. And then as you breathe, maybe you can see like your favorite color or flower just kind of moving in the wind of the breath. And just try to clear the mind here and just feel into everything that you're not thinking. This part of the practice is so important. We seal the practice so that we can just think about everything we were learning and doing and practicing in this session today. So we'll spend a few minutes in silence for your Shavasana. Tap back into the breath. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Wiggle fingers and toes. Circle out wrists and ankles. Take both arms overhead for a full body stretch. Let it feel sweet. And then roll onto one side. And if you need it, let your heart melt. And then push yourself up when you're ready. And find a comfortable seated position. Once you find it, lift your chest, bring your hands to your heart center. Tuck your chin and close your eyes or have that super soft gaze. Take a deep breath here. And exhale. Thank yourself for showing up today and practicing and being present. You are awesome. You all are rock stars. Bring your thumbs to your third eye. The divine light inside of me honors the divine light inside of each and every one of you. Namaste. Happy Thursday. I hope you guys have a fabulous weekend. Thank you for practicing with me. Reminder, if you've attended at least 4 classes and haven't gotten your yogi tank yet, send me an email and I'll send one to you. I have about 10 left. All right, thanks guys. Bye.